And Harry Lowe, our reporter, is, so rumour has it, at a 10-metre board, getting ready to do his thing. I've got to tell you this story before we get into it, Harry, that the only thing Mrs. Nestor's got over me, the only thing is, if you go to Jamaica's very famous cafe called Rick's Cafe, and at sunset, people dive, and it's about 12 metres high. But because it's been so many years, Mrs. Nestor now, when she tells the story, tells everybody it's 200 metres high. Why are you at the top of the diving board, Harry?
I'm at the top of the diving board because this venue 10 years ago was where many of the aquatic events took place. Tom Davey dove off this very board and won a bronze medal. And I've got to say, we're on the 10-metre diving board now. I could almost jump and headbutt the roof. I can't tell you how high it is, Eddie. I've been assured not to look down, but obviously I'm a journalist. I'm going to look down, and I've got to say, it looks like a very long way down here from the top diving board. My legs are a little bit like jelly, you might say.
Yeah. You see, this line is still bad. It sounded like you said Tom Davey there, and I know you said Tom Daly. Are you wearing any clothes? Are you going to jump off, or are you just standing there?
No, I'm here in my swimmers. I'm in my white striped shorts.
Oh, no, you're not. No, there are no children in that pool. You're scared of children, Harry. So, are you really in your shorts, standing at the top of the board, talking to me about to dive in? Right,
it's a true story. There's a diving class happening over to my right-hand side. These kids are here for a week, and they're having a whale of a time, but they are much closer to the water than I am, and they're diving off the side. I'm going to be diving from height.
I can see the view. So there's, what is it? There's a 3-metre, a 5-metre, and a 10-metre, right?
And there's also not only the 2 1-metre boards, there's actually a 7.5-metre board. So I've just come down to the 7.5-metre board, and I've got to say, Jeremy, who's standing alongside me, knows a lot more about diving than I do, Eddie. So I'm going to ask him a few questions. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning.
What can you tell us here about this facility?
It's a really good facility. We've got really good diving programs. We've got like from lessons up to our squads. We've got good facilities for swimming, and also we've got like fun stuff we see at the moment, which is called Aqua Splash.
Yeah, good point. There's 1.2 million people come to this facility every single year. In front of us, past the diving pool, is another pool. That's the 50-metre Olympic-sized pool, and there is a giant inflatable with lots of kids on it. I actually would rather be in their shoes at the moment. And if you look through the window and the glass beyond that is another 50-metre pool, which is a training pool.
That's where we usually have our swimming lessons.
Okay, I was just going to say, if there are 1.2 million people using this facility, who's coming through each year?
So you do have the elite swimmers. So we had like Ellie Simmons training here once. We've got our elite, so Matthew Lee trains here. He's basically been on the top board. We've got like Noah Williams, Tom Daly as well. We also got our kids, so they either can do, if they're confident enough that they can do diving, they can, and then if not, they can do your swimming lessons down at the training pool, which you just mentioned, and through all that.
And it's not just the water here. There is, of course, a dry dive area. I walked past the floats and the inflatables earlier. So if you want to practice but not in the water and don't repeat what I'm about to go and do, then you can do that in the safety and comfort of the indoor dry area. So we're dropping down from the 7.5-metre board because I'm informed, well, frankly, that it wouldn't be safe for somebody of my lack of ability to go off at that height. We've reached the 5-metre board. Jeremy, what do you think are my chances of going off at this height?
I say about a 50-50 chance, because quite a lot of people, adults and kids, they're just scared stiff. But if you just go for it, you'll be all right.
Okay.
Just stay nice and tight. So try and squeeze everything, so you stretch and stay nice and tight. Keep your nice form, so arms up nice and tall. Pointing your toes, keeping everything tight and in line, and you'll be all right.
So just so that I know what my technique might be, I need to go to the edge of the board. Okay. Now, just so listeners know, as I came up the staircase to these boards, very, very sticky. And I have to say, I thought, oh, maybe this is a little bit unclean, but you can explain, Jeremy, why they're so sticky on the way up.
There's a sticky because we need grip. If you they're all wet, they slide off, and they could really cause injury. There have been cases like in the Olympics where people just headbutt boards and things like this because of like a slippery surface. So they need a nice firm surface, a nice grip, and it'll be all right, so they can take off.
Okay, so I'm going to try and avoid headbutting the board as I go in. I'm sure my bosses will be listening with a little bit of trepidation. I'm very, very nervous now, I have to say. One last thing, I can see these jets of water coming out onto the pool. What's all that about?
So they, first of all, they break a little bit at the top of the surface, and second, and one of the main reasons is, so if you're doing like all like your somersaults, your twisting dives, you don't know where you're going. You don't know what's the sky or whatever, if you're outside or it's ceiling, or what's the pool. So this will distinguish, this is the pool. So they'll just go into the pool and spot the water there.
Jeremy, am I good to go?
Yeah, you can good to go.
Well,
All right,
hold on. Harry,
Should I do it?
Hold on. You're gonna do it, but I just need to make sure. You're new to BBC Radio London. You came and did your first interview when you lost your mum's scarf. I've liked you. I've got a soft spot for you. Whatever happens now, know that I like you. Okay? I just need you to know that before you
Thanks,
do
Eddie.
what you're about to do. Right, as descriptive as you can, please, sir.
Okay, so I'm now approaching the edge of the black matted 5-metre board. I'm looking down at the pool in front of me. I'm assured that the temperature of the water is in the region of 27 degrees, which Jeremy tells me is nice and cool. It is 5 metres deep, and there is a floating bottom to this pool, which they bring up at the end of each day. They're not going to do that now because I'll probably need some of that depth to get in. But the water is shimmering because of these artificial lights overhead. And I wouldn't go as far as to say it's inviting, but I think I might just have to give it a crack. So I'm going to walk up to the edge of the board and pass my equipment over to my erstwhile colleague Rob.
Right,
I'm going to go off the edge.
Right, so yeah, not for the first
right.
time.
Hello, Eddie. I've taken over, so me
right.
and Jeremy are now going to come off of the. Are we going to? Can we stay on the board here, or can we go down?
No, get off the board, Rob. Get off the board, Rob. Please.
So we're gonna,
Thank you.
So Jeremy's just going to double check Harry's form. So Harry is now arms above his head together.
What
He's
form?
looking down.
Hold on, Rob. What form? Prince Harry went there and he said he wants to bomb off the 10-metre thing. What form? Was he going to try and properly dive?
He is going to try and dive, yeah. Unfortunately, BBC Health and Safety has nixed the idea of the 10-metre board. And also the manager of the Leisure Centre wasn't sure their insurance would cover us. I haven't even been near the edge. I am standing near, like, at the end of where the barrier leaves. Harry is now, his foot is right at the edge of this board. Jeremy is next to him. Harry is pointing hands up still, and Jeremy's giving him some coaching on his form. Harry is looking a little nervous. He is literally, his big toe is over the edge of this 5-metre board here in the Aquatics Centre. And below us there is this children's school. I think we are ready. So
Are the children
Harry
laughing at him yet?
They're not laughing, no, they're all getting on with it. So let's see how Harry gets on when you are ready. Harry is going, we're counting him down.
3, and go. Stretch!
I don't know if you heard that. So Harry is in the pool. We've now got to get down as quick as we can to see how he is. So I'm coming down. Harry is floating, he's on his back. Oh,
floating?
He said it feels so light.
No,
hold on.
We don't want to hear anything about
I'm
anything floating in the water.
Hold on.
Something different
He
in
is
Hackney.
floating. The lifeguard is happy, he's in his chair, he hasn't batted an eyelid. How are you feeling, Harry?
Oh my goodness, what a rush. I feel so alive.
Do you want to do it again?
Would I do it again?
No, you're not.
Would I do it again? In a heartbeat, yeah, of course. I just can't believe I'm still alive, frankly.
Right, we're going to get Helen in the water and you up the slide next.
Come join us, Helen, come join us. It's lovely in here. It's very warm.
Harry, just
good,
quickly, it was supposed to be, that was one of the biggest arguments about whether or not that pool could then be used by local people, and I know lots of the local schools use it, and it's become one of the symbols of inclusivity. You're in there, you're in the pool. Does it feel like it's something that belongs here? Do those children look like it's theirs?
Yeah, they do, Eddie. They're absolutely loving it. Beaming faces. It's been open to the public since 2014, so we've had 8 years now. And if you're talking about a legacy from these games, I think this pool, this facility, probably embodies that almost better than any other facility here. I've had a great time, and I would encourage any Londoner listening to come down and give it a go themselves.
A walking advert. Well done to you, Harry. It sounded better than when you went into the Lido anyway. That's Harry Harry Lowe there. That's great. Ellen Heddenot comes down the piffle slide. Harry goes into the water. He bottled it. It should have been the 10 metre board. But we're not going to do that. We're going to celebrate the fact that he did it at all, which is a lot more than I would do. Talking about going above and beyond, still in his wet trunks from his 5 metre leap at the Aquatics Centre. Harry, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm sitting in the lifeguard's chair inside the London Aquatics Centre.
That's no good. You can't help anybody. What are you doing? Get off there and let somebody who's qualified do their job.
Okay, but before I do, I just wanted to tell you about this technology they're trialling here. It's called Pool View Plus, and it enables the lifeguards to be able to see underwater here, because there's a large obstacle course, which I'm actually going to hopefully have a crack at myself in a couple of minutes' time.
Oh my goodness.
Because there's a large
yes.
blue and yellow obstacle course. Of course, lifeguards don't have a clear sight of everybody at all times, even though there are 4 lifeguard chairs here. So they've got this Pool View technology, and the lifeguards can see what's happening at all times across the water. It's fantastic.
Oh, great. Oh, great. So you can see something happening, even though you can't do anything about it, you personally, Harry, you can see it. So you could give great reportage and testimony about what actually happened at that moment.
I can.
And then when the adjudicator says, so what did you do? You said, I kept a record of it, sir. Madam, I kept a great record of it. So how are you feeling now? I asked H this question, you know what I mean? Because you do it for job, and it sounds exciting, doesn't it? When the boss of the place says, oh, why don't you do this, or whatever it is. But actually doing it is something different. Rob is in front of me now, and he told me, you know, there was a moment where we thought you weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, mate?
Yeah, I was shaking actually afterwards, Eddie. I was very close to backing out, but I'm glad I didn't. I've only got a very slight pain on my right foot to show for it. But yeah, I'm feeling good, and I'm really glad to say that I've been presented with a tile by Russ here, well, tell us, Russ, about this scheme that you have, whereby you give tiles to people.
Well, firstly, congratulations for going off the 5 metre board, because it's no mean feat. I've done it numerous times, and you still get wobbles when you get up there, so absolutely fantastic. What we've done is we've created a little scheme where we've got tiles that are available, and we get all of the athletes to sign them, and then we give them out to Penathlon, who are an organisation that works with disabilities, learning difficulties, etc. And they take them back to the school, frame them, and put them up in reception, and it's absolutely fantastic. So it's become a bit of a journey where we started off with Tom and Matty signing them, and now everybody else has got competitive, as you will have seen from the tiles that I've got out there.
Yeah, just describe what some of them look like and how many you've got in total.
We've probably got about 100 in total. They're all different images. People have done, the athletes have done diving boards, they've done love hearts, they've made them rainbows, etc. So they're all different in all the styles that they've done.
And other than creating these tiles which you give out to very deserving people, what else is this centre about? Been open 8 years now, really since it reopened.
Yeah, so the thing is that we host international events, we host regional events, but it's more about being a community facility, and that's what the legacy was about. We have over 1.2 million people coming through the venue. We've got 3,500 on Learn to Swim programme. We have 30,000 school children that come through on their Learn to Swim programme, and we have 4,000 members on our health and fitness programme. So we have really generated and continue to grow a community legacy programme, and that's what we set out to do right from the very start.
And with that in mind, just talk me through this yellow and blue obstacle course which I'm about to tackle.
Right, you're about to tackle it, and it's going to be tough, but it was about trying to come up with a solution of turning an Olympic pool, which is a 50 metre pool, with a fun space, and this was our solution. And so you've got 2 tracks that you can go down. We probably have about 3,000 to 4,000 children that are going to come through the summer holidays, and they just have great fun. And so we have managed to generate a water space that is different to give that fun feel during the summer holidays.
Well, I feel like a big child, Eddie. What do you reckon?
But you don't need to be there with children for me to have felt that about you. Harry, I'm going to give you a minute, and then I'm going to come back to you. Other reporter, Harry. Now, Harry's dived off a 5-metre, and Rob has shown me the pictures of that, and I'm going to use that to blackmail you, Harry. But now you're on an inflatable.
I am. It's blue and it's yellow and it's very large, and there are 50 or so children in life jackets desperately waiting to get onto this inflatable the moment that I step off. So I'm feeling under great pressure here to get on with it.
Right. Well, let me not stop you then. Do the description for me. You know I like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm right in the middle of this 50-metre Olympic pool, but it's not being used by Olympic swimmers today. Because it's got this very, very large obstacle course on it. It's bright yellow, it's blue, it's striped, and it has any number of different challenges. There's one point over there, which I'm definitely not going to try, where you need to use your arms to climb around the side of what is a very, very large middle section. Then you can climb around that. Perhaps you'll swivel round past some of that padding that's over there. But what I'm going to do is go over the top. If I'm successful, I'm going to go over 3 large beach balls, if you like, half beach balls, which are currently standing between me and a safe exit from the water, Eddie. So I'm going over now. I'm very conscious that if anything goes wrong, this phone and obviously me as well will end up in the drink. So I'm doing everything in my power to stay calm, stay centred, stay balanced. I'm over the second beach ball.
It's a lovely sound, Harry.
I'm over the second beach ball and I'm clinging on here. I'm not kidding you. I'm clinging on my left hand and I'm over the third. If I can get over the third one, then I'm potentially... Yeah. Oh!
Ninja Warrior! It's Ninja Warriors!
I've made it, Eddie. I've got one last section to get over. There's 3 very, very large bollards here. So I'm going to go over this one. Whoa, in we go. Under the next one. I'm getting too tall for this, I have to say. If I go one more, over the last one, and I've gone down, but I'm still on board. And I've managed to make it to shore, Eddie. I have successfully navigated the obstacle course. I'm a bit out of breath, but I tell you what, those kids cannot wait to get involved, and the staff are now winching the obstacle course back to the middle of the pool, and the summer holidays can begin for the kids here in the London Aquatics Centre.
Right. Now we've got the old man out of the way, can we carry on having our good time, please, sir? Yes. Listen, you've been fantastic, Harry. I really do appreciate it. This is BBC Radio London.